And we're back after a brief break. You're watching South Texas Crossfire. We want to take a break to thank our sponsors, River City Hospice. From our family to your family, we take care of you. And that's River City Hospice, 882-5900. If your loved one has cancer, if your loved one has lung disease that's really bad off, kidney problems, heart problems, call them and get some information. It's one of the most undervalued assets is hospice care. It's not what you think it is, 882-5900, or if your loved one has Alzheimer's. It's very important to give them a call, 882-5900. And also Vasquez Flores Home Health, 881-9922, backed by over 20 years of experience. Priscilla Vasquez RN can help your loved one. And if you want to get your career started in healthcare, give her a call, 881-9922. That's Vasquez Flores Home Health. And we're here with Judge David Stith. He is sitting in the county court at law, and that is number 3, correct?
That's correct.
All right, and thank you for coming. I know how busy you are, but I appreciate you coming during lunch. Save the taxpayer some dollars, right?
Happy to be here.
Well, listen, now we just had one judicial candidate on, and I'm excited that we've had 2 people. You're already on the bench. How has your tenure been in this last several months being on the bench?
I'll tell you, it's been very exciting since, and you know, it was interesting. I'm working on an email that I'd like to send out, a little status update from the courts just last night. And it's amazing to think what we've done since I've been appointed in December. It's been a remarkable journey so far.
Okay, and tell us a little bit about some of the programs that you've instituted already.
I'll tell you one of the biggest ones, and I'll tell you the basis for it was the times that I've had to go through the jury selection process. If you've gone through it, you know you get your summons. You show up on a Monday, you sit there for hours and hours and hours, and you just wait, and you wonder, am I going to go up to court? Do they need me? The person over here is coughing. The person over here is scrunching in your seat, and you're just thinking it's a miserable experience. Well, having gone through that 2 times, I thought to myself, there's got to be a better way. And after talking with Judge Watts, Judge Maderi, and a few of our local members of the bar, we came up with an idea. Why can't we move to an online system? Why can't we make it to where if you go online, we'll call you, we'll email you when we need you. You come in, go right up to court, and do your jury service. And
how about, Mr. Flores, who's running for the 347th, brought up, what about the over 60 crowd that may not be on the internet, or somebody who lacks the resources to have a smartphone, iPhone, or Android?
Okay, two options we're going to have. One is you're going to be able to access the system from any computer, public library, a computer that we're going to set up at the courthouse.
Okay.
You can do that as well. We're working, I can't tell you this is going to happen, but we're working on it, whether or not you can use a simple touch phone and use your touch phone.
Now that would work for everybody, and it would be almost automated.
Yep. We have 12 lines set up. It's called the IVR system. We're experimenting with it to make sure it's not one of those where you press buttons and you end up in a loop where you can never get out of. So we're working on the details for it.
And I'm starting to see some exciting things that the technology, the legal system's catching up with it, where I'm starting to see people entertaining, having hearings by Skype.
Very exciting.
Yeah, and tell the voters a little bit about that.
Okay, so and this was actually an idea that Judge Vargas brought up to the other county court judges.
Doing a great job, Judge Vargas.
Oh, absolutely, and you know, it's great. And one thing that I would like to say about that, with the programs that I'm working on, the programs Judge Vargas is working on, there's really no difference whether it's Republican, Democrat, no politics play a part. If he has a program that works really well, we work to implement it. And so that's very exciting to be able to work with my fellow judges, just like for Skype. He came up with the idea of using Skype. Another attorney came up and showed us a demonstration, and now we're going to have Skype available for all of our preliminary hearings. We just did a test yesterday where I was on Skype in my chambers, and then we had another computer out in the courtroom, and we were just working to make sure it works, and it's going to be great for preliminary hearings. It's going to save a lot of money.
Well, and let me ask you this. A lot of people are saying, who is David Stith? Yeah, we've seen the campaign signs look good. I like the blues and greens. Very nice. My wife's a big admirer of that. But you do have a tough candidate coming against you in November. It is a presidential cycle, but politics has changed in South Texas forever, I think, where it's not just people voting palanca or straight ticket. And also we have the third party, as I like to put it, the Tea Party and Libertarians. So how are you reaching the voter, telling them about your experience, training, and background? I mean, what are you telling voters when you do have time after hours and at lunch to go speak with them?
Well, and I'll tell you, I hope that what you're seeing is a trend. I think it is bad for both parties, and I think it's bad for Nueces County when you just have lever pullers that go in there and pull one way or the other, and you're not voting for a specific candidate or a specific person. So I hope that trend is changing. I hope there's a lot of independent voters that get a chance to meet the candidates. I would love for people to come up and see what we do up on County Court 3. That would be great.
And there's open court, so they're welcome to come and see.
Not only that, my door is open, and I've knocked on a lot of doors and talked to a lot of people and said, come on up and see what we do up there. I haven't had any takers yet, but I'm hoping they will.
Well, what kind of things in county courted law do you see the cases?
All right, we handle misdemeanors, we handle probate cases, and all civil cases.
So wills, civil stuff, you mean car wrecks?
Anything.
Medical malpractice?
Yeah, anything. We have what's called concurrent jurisdiction with district court. So if a person is going to file a civil case, they can choose to file either in county court or district court, and most are being filed in county court.
Well, that's huge. And as far as misdemeanors, we're talking about small amounts of marijuana, cocaine, driving while intoxicated, misdemeanor domestic assault, first-timers,
no
things
cocaine.
like that.
It would be. Yeah, and it's just the classifications of how.
That's right. Cocaine would be state jail.
Yep, state jail. Right.
But you're seeing marijuana. You're seeing some of the lighter, quote unquote, drug, or smaller amounts.
Right, and you know, and again, it is misdemeanors. And I was talking to a group yesterday about this. And I said, granted, it's misdemeanors, but a lot of people, it seems to me, they get in trouble either in juvenile or misdemeanor court, and they graduate up. I personally, I believe we got to make some changes. We can't throw everybody in jail. We've got to change people's behavior. We've got to make it to where if they have a run in the system, they get back out, they get to be members of society, we don't see them again.
Well, Sheriff Kalen has said the same thing on this show. He says, my jail doesn't have the room for nonviolent offenders, just stacking them in there.
Yeah, and I think maybe there was a mentality to do that in the 80s and 90s. I personally believe we got to make some changes. We got to think outside the box when it comes to rehabilitation issues, because simply the taxpayers, I can't imagine the taxpayers are willing to pay the amount of money it would take for low-level violent offenders to stay in prisons or jails.
We have the technology where we can do GPS monitoring on nonviolent offenders and have them on house arrest. Let them eat out of their own refrigerator. Let them take their own shower there and let them clothe themselves, opposed to the county jail.
Even better, working in the county through the SPURS program.
Yeah.
And second to that, I'll tell you this program that I've just started, which I think is great. You know, for years and years and years in Nueces County, if somebody was given a fine, let's say two people were given a fine, one person pays it, one person doesn't.
They don't have the money.
Right. But we haven't even tried to enforce it. We haven't even attempted to collect any of those debts at all.
And so how much is out there for the taxpayer
Millions.
we haven't collected?
Millions.
10? Would you say 10 million?
I've talked to the county auditor, and she's going to get me a number.
But it's a millions. It's in the millions, right?
So I don't understand why if a person gets a traffic ticket or a Class C traffic ticket or misdemeanor in JP court, they can't renew their driver's license. And I thought, why in the world are we not at least trying some enforcement on people that we assess fines? It's not fair for the people who pay their fines and for somebody who chooses not to, just to say, I don't feel like it. And nothing gets done. That's not right.
And you've been on both sides. You've been a criminal defense attorney. You've been a federal practitioner, right? Okay. When people are in trouble, how many times have we heard, I don't have money. I don't have money. And then they say, okay, we're going to give you 5 years. Where's my money for an attorney? So people find a way if their driver's license or their livelihood or their freedom is at stake.
And even more than that, and you know from practicing criminal defense, I know from practicing criminal defense, a lot of times people can find money for the things they really want. Now, if mine is not high on their list of priorities to pay off, and I understand that, but when you get in trouble, you got to pay the consequences.
My Republican friends and my wife always say that, oh yeah, they got the bling bling and they got the big trucks and, you know, but they're not paying their fines and their taxes. And that's white, Hispanic, black, you know, it's not a aspersion to race at all.
At all.
Yeah. Because there are a lot of Hispanics now that are voting Republican. You know, there's been crossover. Even in Mr. Flores' race in Judge Maderi, you're seeing a lot of leaders, like even of the Texas Democratic women, that have come out openly and said, I'm going to support her.
And I think that's great.
I mean, you know, so it's a monumental thing that's going on in Nueces County. So you've got an opponent whose family is third, fourth generation here. You came from Houston, right?
From Dallas.
Dallas, right, originally, but you've been down here a decade and a half.
Yep.
Why Corpus from Dallas? Why'd you come down here and set roots? And congratulations on the baby already arrived?
Yes, 3 weeks.
All
Well, actually,
right.
4 weeks. 1 month old today, as a matter of fact.
So you sleeping any?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit. There you go.
A little
But
bit, 'cause we
a
talked
girl or a
about
boy?
a girl.
Oh,
Scarlett Elizabeth Stith.
congratulations. So you made roots, you made ties here, so you're here for the long haul.
I am, and I'll tell you, it's a really great story, actually, which has a great ending. You know, I practiced in Dallas with my dad for a long number of years. I got tired of Dallas, the big city, the big kind of the you got to make a bunch of money and dress in black, and you never have any real ties to the legal community or the judges. And I always loved the water. And I came down to Corpus a whole bunch when I was growing up. And so, as weird as it sounds, I knew that one day I wanted to move to Corpus. Everybody in Corpus apparently wants to leave. I've always wanted to come to Corpus.
I don't know why people don't love Corpus more. It's laid
I
back
have no
compared
idea.
to other cities. I mean, you get everywhere in 10 minutes.
Yep.
You know, I mean, do you see our traffic jams? 5 o'clock, they last 5 minutes.
Let me just tell you, there are no real traffic jams in
There's
Corpus.
not real traffic jams.
Go to Dallas and be stuck in traffic for 2
Oh,
hours
yeah.
either way.
610 loop at 59 at 5 o'clock in Houston, Texas. Wow.
All right, so I moved down here, and my brother was going through medical school. He finished up his residency, and he's moved down here, and he's now an emergency room doctor.
That's your brother?
William Stith.
I did not know that's your brother. My brother's an ER nurse, and we've heard of him. Yeah, all my family's in healthcare, and that's great. So we've got an ER doc and a judge down here.
And here you go. My dad and mom, you know, my dad still practices, though he's semi-retired. He's moving down here. So I'm bringing everybody to Corpus.
You're bringing everybody
I'm bringing
to
my family to
Corpus.
Corpus, so I'm very excited about it.
Well, you know, in the last couple of minutes we have left, tell everybody a little bit about your platform. I mean, if you had the time, and you're obviously up on the bench, that's why I brought you here, so you can knock on 200,000 doors at one time. If you told people, hey, man, I need your vote, what are you going to tell the voter out there?
And, you know, I'll say it like this. You know, my coach in high school told me what you do in practice, you're going to do in the game. And this holds true for me and for every other candidate out there. Go talk to them and see what their experience is before they ran for public office, before they decided they wanted to be a judge or a senator or whatnot. See what their life of public service was. I've worked hard in the community, both in our bar association as well as on the park board. And I've done a whole lot of things because I believe in the community. The whole reason I ran is because I want to make a difference. I would love to spend another 30 minutes telling you about all the things I've done, but...
well, you're going to come on again, right?
I would love
before Election Day.
Absolutely. And you know, require more of your public servants. I think the time is done in Nueces County for people to get elected and just go up there and get a paycheck and sit around and act like they're the kings and queens. Public servant is a service to the public, and we should require more. And that's why I'm working hard for the voters. That's why I'm out there knocking on doors, trying to get people to understand what I do and what I'm about. I think that's so important.
Okay, and last, let's talk about money. The county commissioners funding, everything. Are you advocating for your court, the court system, with the county commissioners, with Joey Gonzalez, with Pusley, we've got the judge, Neil, and Commissioner McComb and Ortiz. Are you working with them to see what your budget's like or what?
Absolutely, and just what ties in with the program that we're starting, just imagine if we can start collecting on the fines that are already owed. Millions of dollars that are not being collected can suddenly start coming into the county. Instead of raising taxes or having to let people go, we can collect on judgments already owed. And so I'm working, and I'll tell you, the meeting I had was with Judge Neal as well as Diana Barrera, our county clerk, and they're excited, and they're willing to make the program happen. So that's very exciting.
Well, and I want to thank you for coming on, and congratulations on the new baby.
Thank you.
And your wife, she's a lovely person. Judge Stith, and it's County Court at Law number 3. He wants to keep on the bench for you. And also, I guess everything's going to kick off after Labor Day. So we'd like for you to come back on. Any last words, any closing arguments?
Last words or closing arguments. Get to know the candidates. Get to know the people that are in office. It's so important. I think there's a feeling of apathy among people, and they don't have the desire to get out there and meet the people that are representing them and the people that are working for them. And I would just encourage them to do so.
Okay, so what's the number if they want to get involved in your campaign?
658-2720. That's
658-2720. Dave's going to have that up there for you.
And you can go to the website, www.judgestith.com. You can volunteer. You can check out what we're doing.
And what about Facebook?
Just David Stith. I have a Facebook.
And they can find you there.
Sure
Okay,
can.
Judge David Stith, County Court at Law number 3, right here in Nueces County. We want to thank him for coming on. And we want to thank our sponsors, River City Hospice, 882-5900, and Vasquez Flores Home Health, 881-9922. We're out of time, but we want to thank Judge Stith and Rene Flores, who is running for the 347th, for coming on today. Thank you, and God bless.